Welcome back. Well, here's a statistic for you. It is estimated that almost 3 billion emails are exchanged in the UK each and every day, and workers spend about half their day going through their inboxes. Sound familiar to you? Well, if it does, you could be suffering from email overload. To talk about this, we're joined from Toronto by technology expert Tom Vassos. Good to see you, Tom. Thanks for your time tonight. So how do you know if you suffer from email stress? How big of a problem is this?
Well, I think it's a big problem. Some recent research showed that 1/3 of all office workers really suffer from some form of email stress.
And how do you know, or what do you do if it's a big problem for you?
Well, I think you have to address the source of it. There's two sources of it. One is spam, so getting spam filters and things like that. But others is just general office email, and make sure that you're not copying a million people on your emails and having really concise emails that really describe exactly what needs to be done. And this is something that all office workers need to work on.
So are there technologies out there, are there programs that can help alleviate some of this email overload?
Sure. Some of it is simple things, for example, that Lotus has, like even color coding of internal emails, or being able to set up rules that any emails from this person or this company automatically go into an in-basket or automatically get deleted after a certain number of months. But that's just the start of the solution. The real part of the solution is really to turn the whole email paradigm on its head. For example, as Lotus has done, not to look at it as email, but as a collaboration environment. So
what does that mean?
What does that mean is really to have shared workspaces where we can all get at the same information and share information and change the information that's there without having to have emails flying all over the place. Similar to the way kids these days actually don't use email all that much. They get onto MySpace and Facebook and post photos on Flickr, and all of those shared environments, you can then go on and see that information without having these millions of emails going back and forth. So the kids have really learned how to do it, and we need to do a better job of it in an office environment.
With 30 seconds left, can you tell me, in your view, do you think that email has actually improved communication?
Well, I think we couldn't live without it, let's put it that way. But just the overload of one recent company determined that their handling of poor emails going out is costing them $40 million a year, for example. But hey, we can't live without it. Let's do things that are going to allow us to share the information better, create collaborative environments, as in the case of what Lotus is doing, and really allow us to get the job done rather than focusing on sending out 10 more emails.
And sometimes talking is good.
Exactly. Let's pick up the phone and solve it that way.
Or walk across the room.
Exactly.
Tom.
Or even via instant messaging, where you can get a group together and solve the problem in a few minutes rather than several emails going back and forth.
Tom, appreciate the suggestions. We'll talk to you again. Bye-bye.
Thanks, Marcy.
It is daylight savings time this weekend, and pushing the clock 1 hour forward makes most of us want to fall back into bed. But there's more to the time change than just the lack of sleep. C.T.V's Lane Ferguson explains why the clocks are moving ahead 3 weeks earlier than normal.
Shannon Williams and her husband are only in Halifax for a few days. They'll get back to Calgary on Saturday, just in time to move the clocks ahead.
I appreciate it. Being someone who likes the sun, I like it to stay light longer, and so if I can have more sunshine in my day, I appreciate it.
This year, the clocks move ahead 3 weeks earlier than usual, the same as last year. The big reason for the change? It's something the Americans decided to do. Energy savings are the reason. The theory is people use less electricity lighting their homes if there's an extra hour of sunshine at the end of the day. But studies by groups like Nova Scotia Power show we don't actually save electricity because we're too far north. Brendan Haley with the Ecology Action Centre agrees and says if Canadians really want to save energy, there's other ways to do it.
So first of all, get an EnerGuide audit. That will show you what specifically to do in your house. Change your light bulbs immediately, the compact fluorescent light bulbs, and drive less. Take public transit and buy a fuel-efficient car when you are driving.
So if not for the energy savings, then why do we do it?
Well, exactly.
Quite simply, it's to match the United States.
Many of our businesses in Nova Scotia depend on a productive relationship with the U.S., and in order to maintain that smooth relationship, we decided to enact daylight savings time changes as well.
Regardless of the reason, many don't mind starting daylight saving time a little earlier, especially Trevor Hopman, who lives with seasonal affective disorder.
The sunlight it rejuvenates you as soon as you have a sunny day. Even if it's in the dead of winter and I get to sit out in the sun for at least an hour or two, I feel a little more human.
It's also an earlier reminder about safety and the need to change the batteries in the smoke alarm. Lane Farguson, C.T.V. News, Halifax.
It's a rare sight that most people on Earth will never see in person. Two forces of nature are going toe-to-toe in Hawaii, where lava from the Kilauea volcano is flowing into the Pacific Ocean. The volcano has been slowly erupting for more than 25 years. Since 1983, the lava has destroyed 190 structures and covered 15 kilometers of roadway and claimed the lives of many sightseers. Stay tuned. Mike Duffy Live is straight ahead.